Hi everyone, how are we doing today and how are you enjoying this global stay-at-home holiday given to us by the COVID-19 virus? Guys, I mean, if anyone at some point in my life had told me that there'd come a season in the human race where everyone would stay at home, I mean, there's no transport, there's no buying and selling, there's no flight, there's no sporting event, all red carpet and award show has been sent to coma. Right? I mean, everything is on indeed lockdown. I probably would have taken that with a pinch of salt and be like, I don't see how that can possibly be. But here we are living in the reality of this. And so I thought to share with us what I think should be the most important things to look into, even as the world goes through this season of our lives. But before I get going with that, I'd like to first of all, on behalf of every one of us who is not in the medical practice, say a very big thank you. I mean, the thank you can't even be enough to all our doctors, all our nurses, all our lab scientists, all our pharmacists, everyone and anyone who is risking his or her life out there to save the rest of us. Thank you. Thank you for the work you are doing. Thank you for the great sacrifice of risking your own life to save ours. We're grateful, really grateful. And thank you to everyone who's donated money, every organization, company, firm who's donated money or relief material just to cushion the effect of this COVID-19 pandemic. We thank you. Thank you for what you do. Some are doing much more as well. It may not be on Twitter or Facebook or television, radio, or newspaper, but everyone for what you're doing to help the next person. Thank you and well done. The very first thing I'd like to consider, which I think we should all consider even as the world is in this state, is unity. Because if you look into the social media space, especially the Nigerian social media space, there's so much of fighting, there's so much bickering, so much name calling, accusations and pointing of fingers. I don't think that should be the way we should go. Yes, I agree that our government here in Nigeria ought to do more, and we are wealthy enough to live better than we're living as a nation. We are. But for corruption and mismanagement and lies and propaganda, yes, we are. But be that as it may, while we are at this, I think the first primary thing we should do, like my brother has, put together this campaign, Goodness Everywhere. I think it should be about love. I think it should be about unity. It should be about helping each other. It should be about reaching to show concern, to bring care, to bring relief one way or the other, any way you can, anyhow you can, to your neighbor, to your family, to your friend, to a colleague, to an associate, to people around you. I think that's the very first thing. Instead of us fighting and calling ourselves names and cursing each other out on social media, can we find ways to love? Let's share facts and not fear. Let's share hope. Let's share comfort. Let's bring succor to people instead of frightening. Because whether you believe it or not, all of us are not on the same faith level or the same confidence or risk level. So when we share some of those things that would raise the next person's blood temperature, you probably may not be there to see how he or she is reacting to what you just shared. So before you click send on that information, think about it. How will it affect the next person that's going to read it? Will it inform him for the better or inform him to panic? I think instead of sharing these panic messages, let's just bring hope to people. The facts are the measures that we have been told to observe, let's observe them. Now, while we're expecting the government here to do a lot more medically to cushion the effect of what is going on, I believe that at individual levels, we can be much more better than we are now, showing love to each other, right? The next thing I think that we should take into consideration a lot more now is family time. If you're privileged to be in a family setting where you have your mom, your dad, brothers and sisters, aunties, uncles, nephews, nieces, all of that, living in the same house as it is at this time, I think we should utilize that a lot more. Let's get to know each other. Let's pray together more. Let's study together. Let's watch the TV together. Let's laugh together. Let's cook together. Let's clean together. Let's just celebrate each other much more than we had ever done before. Why I'm saying so is because, we live in a world where, every morning the parents, the kids, everybody leave home and we come back at night or evening, as the case may be, and we're tired. We just want to rest. And we do not have time for that family time, right? I think this is the time for that family time. But it will not happen if we are not intentional to make it happen, right? The other thing I think that we should look into is learning. Yes, let's watch TV, have fun, laugh, Netflix, watch videos, watch movies, and all that kind of stuff. Let's also Google to learn. Let's research. Let's study. Let's add one more thing to our bank, right? That book that you started reading that you haven't completed, maybe it is time to pick it up and read again. That project that you had started writing out that you hadn't completed, get back into your bookstore, pick it up again and dust it and work on it again. That vision, that project, that plan you'd always wanted to execute that you didn't have the time, maybe this is the time for it. You see now, there's a lot more to do than fight on Twitter, than accuse one another. Okay, let's get to it. And I believe we'll become better. And lastly, and which is, I believe, the most important, is our faith. Let's get back to God. Maybe this is the time for you and I to develop a stronger personal relationship with God. Let's get to pray more. Let's get to study the Bible more. Let's get to be closer to God. Whether as a Christian or as a Muslim, whatever faith you belong to, I think it is time to get closer to your God and get to know what He is saying to you about this season that we are in now. I believe that if we do all of this, we would win the COVID-19 pandemic. We would become better as a people. This pandemic will soon be over. But how we come out of it and who we become after the pandemic will be predicated on what we do now in the pandemic. And I believe that God will see us through this season and we will be better off than we began. Thank you for sharing your time with me and do have a lovely day.